Welcome to episode number 17 of the Go for Two podcast. I am your host, Jackson Wallace. I got my buddy Lucas here with me. Lucas, how you doing, pal?
Great.
Great.
Because I had a good Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't
Yeah, you
ruined.
did. I was just gonna say, how was your Thanksgiving? And I hope it was fantastic because mine was less than stellar.
I can't believe you'd
If
wear
we're
that
being
hat
honest.
today.
You know, I really thought about not wearing this hat. Okay, I had a whole scene planned out in my head. I was gonna take off the hat and throw it down or smash it or whatever. But you know what? Despite all that has happened, because our division is so terrible, we could still win it. We can still do it, Lucas.
You can go 8-8 and win that division. All right.
Ain't that sad? That's just I don't know, man.
What are y'all right now?
6-6.
We're
We're 6-6, and we're leading the division. I mean, when is the last time anybody's ever been able to say that? I think one year the Seahawks went 7-9 and won their division.
What?
I think that was like 2008, 2009. I want to say it was 2009. Seahawks went 7-9 and won the division.
That's actually wild.
Yeah,
well, I mean, who was it that didn't make the playoffs? Was it the Patriots that won like 12 games, didn't make the playoffs? Or was it 11 games or something like that?
I know one year they won 11-5 with Matt Castle. Didn't they go to the playoffs? Maybe they didn't.
Some team in that division one year had like a super good record and didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think there was a team. Well, I think it was actually the same year as the Seahawks. There was a team. Seahawks were 7-9, and there was another team outside in the NFC in a wild card position that was like 11-5 or 12-4, something like that. But they didn't make the wild card.
That's
so
wild.
a 7-9 team got in.
I would have been so mad.
Oh, maybe it was 2000. It was 2010. It was 2010 because the Saints had just won the Super Bowl. And then the 7-9 Seahawks come in, and that's when Beast Mode did his famous run to knock out the Saints from heading back for going deeper into the playoffs. The 7-9 team upset the favorite.
That's pretty awesome.
Breeze City. Isn't that crazy?
Beastquake.
Isn't that crazy? Beast Mode, bro.
So, I mean, we're waiting on you, bro. You know, this is the intro Skittles. Part. We got questions and stuff like that, you know. I'm
excuse me.
Just taking your time
I thought we had established a new precedent of not getting questions after last week. But no, my boy Casey finally came in again this time. All right, so guys, just a real quick. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching the Go for Two podcast. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Go for Two podcast. Watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/Go for Two podcast. And you can leave comments and questions just like this one. And then you will be read on the podcast as well. Anyway, here we go. We got our man, our buddy, our pal, Casey Crawford. And he has 3 different comments. All right, so get all settled. Here we go. He says, LOL. Oh, you guys had to put the burn on me. That's okay. Great job. I loved it. Since y'all didn't put no Thanksgiving on YouTube, here you guys go. Question. Do you like turkey or duck for Thanksgiving? I'm cooking Mr. Quackers, and he is yummy. He also says, do you like whiskey and Copenhagen? I do, and it's great after you eat Mr. Quackers and watch the Cowboys get a W, we hope, on Thanksgiving. That didn't turn out very well.
Yeah, this was before they lost.
Yeah. Thank you all. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And hey, remember, Lucas and Jackson, have fun fishing. Lucas, your response to the first comment.
Number one, I do prefer Mr. Gobbles, all right, instead of Mr. Quackers. Okay, I'm a turkey man.
I prefer Mr. Gobbles too.
And I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of. He said whiskey in Copenhagen, right?
Whiskey in Copenhagen. He did.
Yeah, not a fan of either that much really. Just because I had Fireball once, was not a fan of it.
Oh, really? I love Fireball.
No. I think what got me is I got sick the next morning. I woke up and I'm trying to remember who it was. I don't remember who it was, but someone was making cinnamon toast for breakfast the next morning, and that did not suit well with me. So kind of killed it for me. I'm just not a big drinker though either. So
yeah, I drink very rarely, on occasion, sometimes, and only drink if you're over 21. By the way, right? Wink, wink, nod, nod. Anyway, his second part of the question, he said, "Who dat Jackson? Who dat Lucas? Saints NFC Championship, Brady AFC Championship, the ultimate Super Bowl, King Brady versus lead passer of all time, Prince Breeze."
Prince.
He said Prince. I guess Breeze is a Prince now. That's pretty cool. That would be a nice Super Bowl. I think we've said that multiple times on the show. I'd love to see Breeze versus Brady.
I picked it. Right. It's in my predictions. I got Saints in there, although I have the Titans in there on the other side. We are reactivating that bet. Me and Jackson are doing an exchange. I originally, a while back when the Titans were like 2-5. No. We were 2-4. The Titans were 2-4, and I threw it out. All right. I made a deal with Jackson to remove that bet, and he got to remove one. I am bringing the Titans bet back in. The Titans bet is being reactivated, and the Washington Redskins make the playoffs bet is being thrown out, even though, they did beat the Panthers last week.
You know what's crazy?
Your division is so bad that they could still make it.
They could still. They're like 3-9 right now. They could still make it. There's a scenario. Now, first of all, they have to win all their games. Not going to happen. Second of all, the Cowboys have to lose the rest of their games. That is very plausible. But the third thing is the Eagles have to lose all but one game, and that one game they have to win is against us. Again, plausible. But the Redskins winning out the rest of their games, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's far more likely that the Titans make the Super Bowl than the Redskins make the playoffs. I actually think it's like 10 times more likely, 10 to 50 times more likely that the Titans do that. Okay.
Wait, so you think it's more likely for the Titans to... All right, so for us to make it to the Super Bowl, would you say we have to win the division or go in as a wild card? All right, so
you could probably do both. You could probably go in as either, but I think you have to win the division.
Okay. So let's say we win the division, right?
Yes.
To do that, we've got to sweep the Texans.
Yes.
And we've got to beat the Raiders or the Saints.
Yeah, you got to win the next 3 or 4 games.
Right. You think that's more likely?
Than the Redskins winning all 4 of their games? Yes. I also think it's more likely that the Titans then go into who you'd beat.
But I'm talking. Bills, right? Yeah, you said make it to the Super Bowl though. So like you think?
Yeah.
I'm just saying the chances of each one. Yeah, you're probably right. Honestly.
Yeah.
But your division is so bad.
Yeah, I really think that you guys have a much better chance. But I think you have a better chance of going into Baltimore and beating Lamar Jackson in the AFC divisional round by far.
I'm not a big Lamar Jackson fan, honestly, so I believe you.
I'm sure we'll talk about that later. All right, third and final comment from Casey Crawford. He says, "Okay, guys, important question. What the crap is the deal with the Cowboys? Coach. Anytime we have a good team, we just simply choke and lose. No leadership. Well, Jackson, Cowboys are done. I don't see them beating anyone in the playoffs. Even if they make it, Cowboys are just bad. Now, my man Drew Brees is back, and I've got my Saints and hope they make the run of the Super Bowl." Casey has jumped ship. I can't necessarily blame him. In regards to the whole leadership, we'll talk about this later too, but I really think Jason Garrett needs to be gone. I think he will be gone at the end of this year, and we'll end up getting a new coach.
Hold on till later. I would not be saying that. You never know.
Oh my God!
I have a Jerry Jones quote.
If we re-sign Jason Garrett, I'm going to lose my marbles. Okay,
continue.
I'm going to absolutely lose it.
Continue, good sir.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Brees has a very good chance of making it back. Saints are looking pretty good right now. Michael Thomas, all-time or all-pro receiver. Okay. Kamara's playing decently. Sean Payton, fantastic head coach.
The Saints are definitely going to make it to the Super Bowl this year, just saying.
I think so too. I think they beat San Francisco, and I think they can beat Seattle. I think it's between Seattle and New Orleans.
They're going to lose to the Titans in 3 or 4 weeks? 4 weeks? 3? I think it's 3.
The Saints,
Saints,
or
the Saints are going to. Now, the Raiders will probably beat us this weekend because that's how we are. But we'll beat the Saints.
By the way, for that game, Battle of the Boys.
That's right, Battle of the Boys.
Comp Nasty versus Taylor Lewan, the dad.
You gotta love them, bro. Love them both.
I do.
Do we have another comment? Anything else?
That's all of our comments. Thank you, Casey. Really do appreciate it.
It's sad. I want y'all to know it's very sad for me to hear that. For me to ask if there's more and then there's not.
And I would love to read off more. I would like to have an entire show other than Hometown Heroes because we know we got time.
Look, real quick on his comments. I do believe, Casey, that you should just stop being a Cowboys fan and stay a Saints fan. You're going to get way more out of your life, way more enjoyment. You'll have better friends. Cowboy fans kind of suck. So.
Look, okay.
Look.
First of all, that was hurtful. All right? Because I feel like I'm a great friend. Number two, okay. Yeah, he will get a lot more out of being a Saints fan. Okay. But here's the thing, Lucas. I was like 3 years old the last time the Cowboys won anything. Okay. And all my life's dream, I've just wanted to see my boys make another run and lift up one Lombardi trophy. I've been waiting 23 years and it hasn't happened yet. Okay.
When you say win anything, do you mean like win a playoff game?
No, I've seen two of those. I've seen two. That's happened in the last 10 years. So almost saw another one, but Romo bobbled the snap. That was in 2007. So yeah, I think the Titans have like 3 times as many playoff wins as we do in the past like 26 years. 23?
Probably do.
So
we also have a more recent one against the Chiefs. I think that's more recent than any playoff win y'all have.
No, last year we won the.
Did y'all win one last year?
Yeah, we beat the Seahawks. We should have beat the Packers the divisional round, but we got Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, y'all can't beat the Packers.
We got bad banned.
So
3 plays, 75 yards in literally like 12 seconds.
So who's the one person that you most 1000% in the world want them to be just fired right now?
Jason Garrett.
All right, so you know who got fired instead of Jason Garrett?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was shocked by this.
So
today.
The head coach, ex-head coach for the Carolina Panthers, Mr. Rivera, got fired.
Rivera, man.
Yeah, he got fired from the Carolina Panthers today. So tough scenes out here, Jackson. I need you to tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, tough scenes. First of all, my initial reaction is when I first saw this come up on my Twitter feed, I said, "What?" Because I couldn't believe what I was reading. We actually had a conversation about this with one of our friends last night, and then he asked us, he's like, "Hey, what do you think? Is Ron Rivera going to get fired?" I'm like, "Dude, no way. No way are they going to fire Coach Rivera. Move on from Cam, maybe. Draft another quarterback, highly probable. But fire their coach, who by the way was the 2015 Coach of the Year. Gotcha. A member of the 1985 Bears, the all-time great defensive-minded coach. Okay, what helped draft Luke Kuechly? Why would they? I know recently they haven't been doing well. They've lost 4 straight games, but one question comes up to my mind. Why now? Why on a Tuesday in December when you're about to play another game? Why now? That's what doesn't make sense to me. And then another question I have, Lucas, is what impact does this have on Cam? Do you think that let me ask you that. Do you think it's more or less likely that the Panthers keep Cam now that Rivera's out?
So I wrote down why, and I wrote down how Cam affected. So I want to get back to that in a little bit. Because there was a statement released that I want to read real quick.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
Sorry. My internet was going out on my computer here, and I had to hurry up and connect the Ethernet cable before the world collapsed, and we had to redo this whole thing.
Oh, gotcha. Well, we're good now.
So the owner of the Panthers, David Tepper, I believe is how you pronounce his last name.
Sounds right.
Earlier today, he made this statement. He said, "We are going to take a comprehensive and thorough review of our football operation to make sure we are structured for long-term success. Our vision is to find the right mix of old school discipline and toughness with modern and innovative processes. We will consider a wide range of football executives to complement our current football staff. One change that we will implement is hiring an assistant general manager and vice president of football operations. We all must recognize that this is the first step in a process, but we are committed to building and maintaining a championship culture for our team and our blah 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 blah." All right.
Yeah, whole lot of fluff there,
fans. Yeah. So, anyways, the secondary coach Perry Fowell has been named the interim head coach. Offensive coordinator is making the transition of special assistant to the head coach, and the quarterback coach is going to be the offensive coordinator. All right. So, I mean, this season's over anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
true.
Do you have anything else you want to get to before we get to the why and how is Cam affected?
No, but I hope that he believes in the new Perry the Platypus coach.
Perry the Platypus. I don't think he will be the coach. He did. I believe I did see somewhere that he is starting the head coach search immediately.
Okay. I would imagine. Yeah. I again, I don't know why now on a Tuesday in December he decides to make that decision, but I mean, I guess they just want to do a complete total revamp. I mean, that's kind of what that sounds like to me. I was completely shocked by the news.
Yeah, I do think it's early. I think he should have waited till the end of the year. But at the same time, they just lost to Washington.
Yeah, when you lose to Washington, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, so
that's pretty bad.
They just lost to Washington, and they just lost to the Falcons. So, in terms of the why, all right, so Ron Rivera was the head coach for the Panthers for 9 years. He had 3 winning seasons, right? He had MVP Cam year, which was like 15-1, right?
Yeah, 15-1, 2015.
Yeah, he had like an 11-5 year, and then he had a
like a 9-7 year.
No, it was a 10-6 year, I believe. 12-4. Okay. That's what it was. 12-4.
12-4.
He had 3 super amazing years, and then he had 6 terrible years. Like those 6 years were bad. Like his best of those 6 years was 7-9.
Mm-hmm.
Like he never had an average year. He never had like an 8-8, 9-7. It just seemed like, it seems like most of the time the Panthers were terrible.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's 76-63-1 is his record, right? And okay, I think the why is that you had a chance to capitalize on this year, even without Cam Newton. Everything was fine. It seemed like all the players were playing accordingly.
MVP Christian
McCaffrey, and the only way you can explain you losing to the Falcons, to the Redskins, is bad coaching. And then there's some other losses in there that they shouldn't really have. And so I think he was looking at that. I think he jumped the gun some. But yeah. I think he's also like maybe trying to get a head start.
Yeah, just want to start a search now. Do you think he's interviewing? One thing that I thought about immediately whenever I saw this news was, is he looking at college coaches? Because the college coaches, their season ends a lot earlier, right? And now that they know that one's available, maybe some of them start thinking about it. Is he looking at a Lincoln Riley?
Well, I mean,
right? Is he looking at a Jim Harbaugh?
He might be. Well, he can't do anything with them right now because coaches like Harbaugh are still like they're looking at a bowl game, I think, still.
Yeah, he won't be able to do anything with them, 1, until the college season's over, and 2, until the NFL season's over. They can't really do anything yet.
Right.
So, but that doesn't mean that somebody can't have a backdoor conversation.
I also believe there was a quote of Ron Rivera after their loss the other day saying he wasn't worried about the team's position and stuff like that. He's going to go coach somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, even if it's a defensive coordinator position, he's gonna get a job somewhere, right? But I feel like he could take over a handful of head coaching jobs now.
But how's Cam going to be affected? So I think Cam will be brought, especially because of this. I think Cam will be brought back next year.
Okay.
And the reason why is because there is an order of things in the football universe, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
this seems like super. What do you mean? Don't look at me like that.
Look. Okay, listen. I've heard it.
What am I going to
Go ahead.
say?
I've heard it.
No. What am I going to say? Go
There's
ahead.
an order of things in the NFL that are the most important. Okay, number one, you have to have a good, like, you got to have the owner, you got to have the GM, you got to have the coach, but you have to have a quarterback. Quarterbacks are very rare to come by, and as soon as you know you have a good one, you have to do everything in your power to make sure that you keep him. Okay, Cam was just
not what I was going to say.
hurt. He had a bad year. It's all good. He's gonna come back healthy. He's gonna take us to the freaking promised land. Is that what you were gonna say?
No, but you just told me all the reasons why they're going to keep Cam Newton, so I appreciate that because now I don't have to waste my breath.
Even though I disagree with the points, I thought that's what you're going to say.
The order, so like you can go back and look at this. This happens a lot. It happens with the Titans. It has happened with the Titans recently. But the order that things usually go, if your team is doing bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
If your team is doing bad, the first thing you do, Jackson, can you guess what it is? The first thing that the owner / yeah, exactly. So the coach gets fired. What's about to happen to the Cowboys?
Coach is gonna get fired. I hope. And ooh.
All right. So if you bring in a new coach next year, you got the guy you want, and the team is still bad. Who's getting fired next?
GM.
You think the GM?
Yeah.
I think the quarterback.
It depends. It just depends on. It depends on who you. Like the personnel, if he's done a bad job of getting personnel.
Well, no, I'm talking about the Cowboys next year. If the Cowboys get a new coach next year, come in and they're bad.
And they're bad. The GM is Jerry Jones. We can't fire him. Oh, if we are still performing bad next year, it just depends on if we sign Dak this year. We'd franchise tag. If we tag him, we probably let him go.
Okay, look. The quarterback goes next. All right, if your team's doing bad, the quarterback goes next. Case in point, we fired Mike Mularkey. Went 9-7, didn't make the playoffs. Team wasn't getting it done first half of the year. We fire the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then after that, if you bring in a new coach and you bring in a new quarterback and your team still isn't getting it done, then you must not be getting it done because he doesn't have the weapons around him, so the GM gets fired. And it just repeats. And that's how it goes. The Titans fired the GM, and then they fired the coach, and then they fired the quarterback. And now we're back at it. And if we're not good next year, the GM will get fired within the next year or two.
There's a flow chart.
Yeah, well, it's just how it goes. The Redskins just fired their coach.
Redskins need a change in ownership, first of all.
Well, they definitely do. But they fired their coach, and their quarterback got benched, and it was just it was just a big dumpster fire, bro. Like,
and then this offseason, they're probably going to fire the GM.
You think so?
I would hope so. I'd hope so. We talked about that like 3 or 4 podcasts ago. That's about true. how bad they've done in terms of acquiring talent. Go back and watch that episode, by the way. Give us another play. But yeah, I think they fired. I hope they do.
And so I just think he's had too many chances. He's had too many chances. You've had 9 seasons and only 3 of them have been good, and the other 6 have been bad. Real bad.
I can say the same thing about Cam. He's had 8 years and only 3 of them have been good. The rest of them have just been kind of bad or average or mediocre.
And if next year, if he, if they play half a season next year and they're 2-3, he might get fired. He might get benched. That's not half a season. You know what I mean?
I think that they move on from Cam, and I think they just draft somebody.
I think they'll be too scared to move on from Cam. I think they'll give Cam another year, 1 more year.
We'll see. We'll have to see. To me, when Ron Rivera's gone, that means that they're doing kind of they're shifting how they want the team to be run, and who knows? Maybe Cam doesn't want to be a part of a team that doesn't have his head coach that he's had his entire career. Maybe he doesn't want to have a change like that. Again, that's something we'd have to ask Cam. But usually, if you're dealing with mediocrity on the coaching side and you're dealing with mediocrity on the quarterback side, I feel like you get rid of them both, like you said, as the flow chart.
That's true. But I think that they'll draft someone and want him to sit behind Newton for a year.
Now that's possible.
And then if Newton does really good and has like a resurgence in his career, they can just trade that guy. or keep him. Do whatever, like
Yeah.
they can do whatever they want. Like, the options are endless then. But I do think Cam comes back for another year. Do you not have anything else to say, Jackson? You look like you look like you have stuff to say, but you just don't want to argue right now or something.
I just think we can make it a bet if you want. Cam Newton will not be starting for the Carolina Panthers next year at all.
I wanna keep the bets into the year. So because we're doing this podcast in seasons and stuff. So this is obviously season 1 because it's the first time we're doing it. So for season 2, when the 2020 season starts, I want us to do
right around draft time.
Yeah, like we'll come up with new bets. That's when the new stuff is going to start around the time we start talking about draft and stuff like that. So anyways, another topic. There's certain topics that just irk Jackson, right? And one of them is this Panthers deal with the Cam Newton thing that we've been talking about, right? The Jason Garrett thing, because the Cowboys are awful and he doesn't want to blame people on the team not playing good either.
No, listen.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Okay, well, even to your joke point, the defense hasn't been playing up to snuff, and part of that reason we're not feeding Zeke the ball. Yeah. We'll talk about that later. My hometown heroes. So
I have a whole spiel. Something that has really irked Jackson this year is Minshew mania, and it has returned. All right, everyone, I don't care how cozy you are in your sweaters and in your jogging pants, snuggled up with your hot chocolate. It's time to break out the Hawaiian shirts and the blue jean jorts, because baby Minshew Mania's back.
Blue jean jorts? Okay, listen, I'm sick and tired of this guy with his mustache, okay? I don't know how or why or who is making this decision on whether to start a Super Bowl MVP or a guy with a mustache and jorts that wrestles sharks. I don't understand. Okay, I don't get it, because it's not like Gardner Minshew was performing when Nick Foles was hurt. Did he play average? Okay, I guess, but there's a lot of other factors of why the Jaguars are losing all their games. They trade away their best defensive player. That's number 1. Okay, number 2, their defense isn't that great to begin with. That's number 2. Number 3, Can you name a single offensive weapon on that team besides Leonard Fournette?
DJ Chark, Chris Conley. Sorry.
That's okay. That's only because you play them twice a year. And
DJ Chark has been a weekly starter in fantasy, sir. And Chris Conley was a speedster from Kansas City. Oh, and don't they have Allen Robinson? No. They don't
have Allen Robinson no more. He's in Chicago.
Yeah.
They don't have Allen Hurns anymore either.
Yeah. So, anyways, look. So,
their weapons are subpar. Their team is subpar. Their coach is subpar. What this says to me is, oh no, we're losing games. We want to sell tickets. Let's give out free mustaches to people so they'll come to the game. That's exactly what this says to me. This doesn't say anything about wanting to actually win football games. This is all about selling tickets, because there's no other reason I can think of why you're starting Gardner Minshew over Nick Foles.
So I think they're doing it just on the simple principle that the Jacksonville Jaguars won more games and looked better as a team when Gardner Minshew was the quarterback compared to Nick Foles being the quarterback.
They played worse teams too.
My thing on it is that I don't want to look at the stats. There's a lot of people comparing stats and stuff. I don't want to look at the stats because I think the two teams are completely different. The team that, actually, for starters, Jacksonville has a stacked defense. Talent-wise, the defense, they got the same people. They got rid of Jalen Ramsey, but they also drafted an outside linebacker from Kentucky that won SEC Player of the Year. All right?
Their defense is middle of the road.
I'm talking talent-wise. Talent-wise, they probably have as much talent on defense as the Cowboys.
I'm also talking production, though. Didn't your team, the Tennessee Titans, blow up on them for 31 points in a quarter the other day?
Well, yeah, but Derrick Henry is the Jag killer. So.
A 74-yard run, a 61-yard bomb to A.J. Brown, and another turnover. Like,
they have so much talent on there. They've lost 2 players off the defense, Jalen Ramsey, and then I forget the other guy. He quit at the beginning of the year. He was a linebacker. But they have so much talent. They have a coaching problem. They have a discipline issue. That is, both of those things are solid facts. I think
And
that is
because of
why
that,
the
their
defense
defense
isn't as
is
great.
performing extremely subpar to what they could be. Is that what you're saying?
I think their defense is ranked above yours.
Probably.
They sacked us 9 times. Calais Campbell got 9 sacks on me on the
Our
Titans.
defense is on the field 45 minutes out of the game, so.
I mean, so is theirs. They ain't doing nothing. Look, anyways, they have a really good defense. Jackson just refuses to acknowledge that, apparently. But
average.
Okay. Anywho. The reason I don't want to look at stats and stuff is because the team that Gardner Minshew led was the Jacksonville Jaguars that put up a good fight against the Chiefs week 1. That came in and beat the Titans on Thursday Night Football in a nasty rain game that was winning games, right? They were winning games. They had hopes of going to the playoffs still. This team that Nick Foles is a part of right now has no chance of making the playoffs. They have disciplinary issues. Jalen Ramsey has been traded off the team. They don't believe in their coach. They don't believe in their quarterback. They don't believe in each other. They're all terrible. All right?
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. They're not bad themselves. They're bad as a team.
Yes. They're a terrible football team, and I don't think trading out Gardner Minshew or trading out Nick Foles for Gardner Minshew is going to fix any of that.
The reason they're bad, though, is because they've given up, not because they're actually bad. Their defense is good.
Well, yeah, well, if they
they're like 2 years removed from going to from almost beating the Patriots.
So you're agreeing with me, though, right? That essentially that there's no reason to go back to Gardner Minshew. Is that what you're saying? Because
I think there's no reason to.
In my favor.
I think there's no reason to, just because like Gardner Minshew he's not going to be your franchise guy. I think you ride Nick Foles to see what he can bring you. You also paid a premium for Nick Foles.
Yes, and I think it's just something to sell tickets. Hey, we were winning a couple games with Gardner Minshew. Let's bring him back, and everybody wear their jorts in December, and we'll give you free mustaches at the first 5,000 to show up for the game.
That's not going to sell tickets. Winning sells tickets, and your team's not in the playoff race. You're not making the playoffs.
Then there's no reason for him to be starting. I feel like they're just trying to do it just to put out tickets to put people in the seats. That's the only thing I could possibly think of as to why you would go with Minshew over Nick Foles.
I think
because I don't see talent.
Well, look, so what you hear coaches say every week is that they do their best to put the best product out on the field, and the Jacksonville Jaguars with Gardner Minshew is the best product that the Jacksonville has put out there.
But so I think that's why they're doing. Team that they didn't give up, and a team that believed in each other, and a team that had Jalen Ramsey.
He's probably more. He's going to be taking more chances and stuff than Nick Foles, so they might get some crazy plays and stuff out of it, a little bit of excitement. But they can't make the playoffs, so I don't think they should do it. But it's whatever, like wear your jorts, go watch the game. It's whatever, do what you want to do, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So I don't know if y'all can tell. Anyone watching on YouTube can definitely tell, because Jackson's just giving off this bad vibes of he's just in a bad mood because the Cowboys are bad and all this stuff.
Look, okay, so first of all,
no, I'm talking. Excuse you. Oops.
Correct.
Oops.
But 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago,
anyway,
when the Titans were 2-4, I had to pick you up from the depression pod.
We were both depressed. That's why it was called the depression pod. You lost to the Jets, bro.
You found out that Mariota got benched mid-pod and completely shut down.
I didn't shut down.
No, you actually rambled for a little bit, but it's okay.
Okay. Anyways, so look. So since let's get on to the Cowboys. All right, let's do the Cowboys, because you obviously you just keep talking about them. You're in a bad mood about it. Maybe some venting will help. All right. I guess no one else wants to listen to it, and I understand because I don't either. But I'll accept it. Vent away, my friend.
Thank you. Listen, okay. First of all, Gardner Minshew should definitely not be a starter.
This is the Cowboy segment, sir.
This is the Cowboy segment, but it still irks me at the random decisions that NFL teams are making. Let's get rid of Ron Rivera and let's put Gardner Minshew back on the team. Okay. Regardless of that, let's talk about my Cowboys game. Let's talk about them on Thanksgiving, okay? Let's talk about the revenge and the return of Cole Beasley, okay? Because he certainly had his day, okay?
I wish I would have kept him.
Oh, ooh. That would have been beautiful. All right. Little Wes Welker, little Dammy Amendola, little Julian Edelman in him. He's got that dog in him, okay? I will give that to Cole Beasley. He's got that dog, okay? He has got that fight in him. All right. So I'm going to pull up my notes here. I'm getting sick and tired of doing this thing because usually every week we have three likes and 3 dislikes, but I'm sitting here and I can't come up with multiple things that I like. I can think of one thing that I liked from the Cowboys game. And you know what that was? That was the fact that it was Thanksgiving. That is the fact that food, family, and friendship cures all. Okay. I had my mac and cheese. I had my turkey. I had my mashed potatoes and gravy. I had good drinks. I had good friends. I had good fun. That is the only positive thing that came out of that Thanksgiving Day game. That is it. Everything that I watched just depressed me more and more. I was texting Lucas. Okay. He was in the middle of his Thanksgiving dinner. He's like, dude, why are you texting me? I know that your team's doing bad, but leave me alone. And I was like, I had a vent. Okay.
This did not happen. He's making stuff up.
Look, the Cowboys. We gave ball. Number one thing I dislike. We went away from the running game. Zeke in the first quarter had 8 carries for 54 yards. That is 7 yards a carry in the first quarter alone. You want to know how many carries he got the rest of the game? The rest of the other 3 quarters? 4. He got 4 carries in 3 quarters for the rest of the game. A man that we drafted number 4 overall. A man that we just paid $50 million guaranteed out of a $90 million total contract this offseason to get him back on the field, and we gave him the ball 4 times in 3 quarters. Are you kidding me? Is that utilizing every possible avenue of your offense? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Jesus, man. Also, Dak passed, number 2, Dak passed for 49 times. That tells me no balance in the offensive scheme whatsoever. 49 passes, 12 runs. I think that's a little bit skewed. just a little bit. All right. And yes, Dak passed for over 300 yards. Congratulations. You had a touchdown. Fantastic. But you also had 2 fumbles, one of which we recovered. Also had an interception. I can't fathom the reason why when Zeke is averaging 7 yards a carry, when we pass the ball 49 times, that the math doesn't add up to me. I don't get it.
I have come to expect a Dak interception weekly now.
And you know what's crazy? And that's only over the past couple of weeks. Actually, no, never mind. If we pay anybody with the winning record, expect the interception. Right? Because we can't beat anybody with a winning record. We're 0-5. That's another point. Another one of my dislikes. Number 3 now. We can't beat winning teams. We're 0-5 against them.
Or the Jets.
Or the Jets. Who got beat by Cincinnati this past week. Are you kidding me? Shout out to the Miami Dolphins punter who has a better QBR this week than Dak Prescott when he threw to a kicker in the end zone against Philadelphia. What? He did a little Brett Favre shovel pass, and that looked prettier than anything I saw from Dak. I'm beside myself. Blasphemous is what this is, Lucas. Blasphemous. We're going to keep going. Turnovers. And we talked about this just a second ago. 3 fumbles. 1 from Zeke, 2 from Dak. We recovered 2 of them, so we lost 1. Okay? Also an interception. I'm also going to count 2 missed field goals as turnovers because guess what? You don't get the points, and the other team gets the ball at that yard line. I'm going to count that as a turnover. It's essentially a turnover on downs. 6 turnovers. You can't win a game like that. At all. 4 total turnovers, 2 of which that could have been. But also ended up as bad negative plays, which essentially took you out of the game, which essentially was a turnover. I'm having, and I'll go to my last point here. Missed key moment, and specifically one moment in which the Cowboys not essentially gave up because they played hard, but in which I fell out of my seat. 4th and 1. The Buffalo Bills are going for it because guess what? They're the Buffalo Bills. And they got Josh Allen, and you know what? Why not? We're just going to go for it. 4th and 1. All right, cool. Quarterback sneak. And Josh Allen not only gets hit at the line, he fumbles the football. He fumbles the football. And all of my Cowboy players around here looking at it like they're looking for a piece of trash on the floor or something to pick up with their feet. They couldn't find the football. So Josh Allen does what? He picks up his own fumble and muscles his way past the 335-pound defensive lineman for a 4-yard gain. Are you kidding me? You can't make this stuff up. That Josh Allen's going to get hit at the line, fumble the football, pick up his own fumble, and out muscle a 335-pound defensive line. Are you kidding me? And then we're talking about the coach. How about Jason Garrett? Coach clap. Hey, we didn't stop by 4th and 1, coach. What's the play call? Hey, it's all good. It's all good, guys. We're fine. What? Are you going to show any emotion whatsoever, Jason Garrett? Okay. Is anything going to light a fire underneath you? Okay. In the owner's box, you saw Jerry Jones, his hands in his face, and disappointment and loss and pure emotion. After the game in the locker room, you heard screaming and yelling, so much so that the reporters had to be shuffled out of the locker room and told to wait outside until this is cleared up. Clearly, nobody is happy.
Have you found out anything else on that?
Martellus Bennett apparently was the guy. Not Martellus Bennett. He used to be a tight end. Michael Bennett was apparently the guy because he came from the Patriots and he came from winning culture. He came from Bill Belichick, greatest coach of all time. And he was telling the team, he was like, guys, no one is going to, I think he was essentially saying, you won't be remembered if you don't win. Like, we could talk all this stuff. Dak can put up X amount of yards, be leading the NFL in yards. Zeke can be getting 7 yards carry. We could have the best, quote unquote, on paper linebacking core in the league. We could be producing well on 3rd down. It doesn't matter. If we're not going to win the game, nobody's going to remember. Somebody's going to talk about us. All they're going to talk about is how we could have done it or should have done it and missed opportunities. Essentially, that's, I think, the message that he was sending to the team. My rant
so it wasn't hostile. Like, it wasn't arguing or anything.
No, it wasn't hostile, but he was like screaming at the team because, I mean, they were just embarrassed on a national television
on Thanksgiving. Like, arguably the most viewed football game all year.
Yeah, than, right, like, next to the Super Bowl. Thanksgiving is like it's up there in terms of viewership. It might be the most viewed next to Super Bowl, right? Because everybody's at home, they're eating their turkey, they got their gravy, they got their mashed potatoes, they got their macaroni and cheese, they got their, stuffing or whatever you want to call it. It's all there for them. Or Mr. Quackers for Casey, they have it all there. But, and it just like it put a kind of a down and damper mood. And the only thing that got me was that it was Thanksgiving and I was having my friends and family and I had food. So
do you want to know what Jerry Jones said on the radio this morning? This was brought to my attention by First Take.
Learn me something.
He said he's the guy for the job. And then they asked him what does he have to do to get re-signed for next year, and he wouldn't say anything. And then they asked him in an offhand way about Jason Garrett next year, and he said, in my opinion, Jason will be in the NFL coaching next year. All right.
Okay.
So that's not really nothing. That last part's not really nothing because, like,
no.
Because he'll be coaching somewhere, but he's the guy for the job. It's almost like if he's not bringing him back himself, it's almost like he's saying to other teams, like, you should have him. Like he's a good coach.
He's putting out his recommendation. He's doing it for his friend, his buddy, his pal, his guy, because that's really the only thing that's kept Jason Garrett in this job over the past 10 years. He's been Jerry Jones's buddy. He's a nice guy, and that's fantastic. That's all well and good, but 10 years of just above 500, a couple good years here, a couple bad years there. It's just, I don't think Jason Garrett should be fired because he's not like smart, or he's not a good person, or he couldn't be a good head coach. I think There needs to be a culture change in Dallas. I think we need somebody that's going to hold their players a little more accountable. I think we need somebody who has a little bit more of either an offensive mind or a defensive mind to kind of help us out. I just don't think he's the guy for what we need right now. I think he could be a great coordinator somewhere else where he doesn't have to have the head coaching responsibility, especially the one of the Dallas Cowboys, the most popular franchise, the most popular team in the world, or at least the most valued, right? So he's a great guy, and that's fine, but it's been 10 years. We haven't really done anything. We got 2 playoff wins. It's just time for a change. I don't think he's a bad person. I think it's just time to move on. So he's gonna endorse his guy. He's gonna recommend just everybody else because that's what Jerry does for his friends. He's just a nice guy, I guess. We need somebody out there with some vigor. Okay, some Bill Cowher.
You need Mike Vrabel. You need a leader of men,
bro.
A leader of men. Someone willing to cut off their junk for a Super Bowl win.
That is right, bro. We need somebody like that. Someone that's willing to go the extra mile all the way. And I mean all the way for it. We don't need somebody who, if we don't convert a 4th down, is sitting on the sideline clapping. I don't think I've ever seen Jason Garrett get mad at his players. And that works for some players respond better to that, but others don't. And it just seems like, from an outsider's perspective, it seems like he does, and I know he does. He has to. It's his job. He's a coach. I imagine he loves football, and imagine he doesn't give off that he cares that much, or that he's not as invested when he's just kind of on the sidelines clapping. And he's just like, oh, it's all right, guys. We'll figure it out. We'll be good. But I don't see any fire underneath him. No passion.
I mean, is he that invested? Does he really care?
It's a great question. I would think he would. But it's just time for a change. It's beyond time for a change.
So I brought up Vrabel saying he would cut his junk off for a Super Bowl win. That's via Bustin' with the Boys podcast. All right.
Yeah, just give it a listen.
But so we got to talk about the Titans a little bit. I'm going to.
Okay.
I think the Titans are officially going to make the playoffs.
I think you're right.
We got over the Colts curse. I thought the Colts curse was coming back to get us. We were like 0-8 against the Colts, or 0-9 or something weird until that happened. So we beat them. We fumbled on the first play and then fumbled again. But we got past that and we won. Okay. So we're 5-1 with Ryan Tannehill. We got the second highest scoring offense since Tannehill came in. Second highest scoring offense. That's about 25 teams above the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's not. I wonder what that's like.
And we also our Adoree Jackson and Malcolm Butler are both hurt, and LaShawn Sims is also hurt. He's our next in line cornerback. So we claimed the Tremaine Brock. We claimed that guy off the waiver wires today.
Okay.
We were 18th on the wire. We got him. So we're having some trouble there. But I just wanted to go through some little notes right there. So I will do my likes and my dislikes for the Titans this week. Unlike Jackson, I had some likes. I think one of Jackson's likes should have been that Dak Prescott still threw for 300 yards or whatever.
Oh, he's leading the league in passing, and we're leading the league in terms of yards per game, like offensive yards per game output. We're number 1 in the league in terms of offense. We just can't convert and put that into scoring drives. We're not capitalizing on our drives at all.
Another like for the Cowboys has got to be that Zeke was averaging like 8 yards or 7 or whatever per carry. But anyways,
went away from him.
I'll start off with my likes. So number 1, special teams has showed up again, Mr. Jackson. This is 3 weeks in a row. All right, we got Kansas City blocked field goal to win the game. We got last week against Jacksonville a fumble caused on a kickoff. All right.
Yeah.
And then this week we had 2 blocked field goals, one of which we took back for a touchdown when it was tied 17-17 with 5 minutes left in the game.
I don't understand what having a special teams is like.
This is the depression pod for Jackson, bro. He's upset.
Do you know Jerry Jones came out against like our special teams like coach?
Oh yeah.
He was like, special teams is all coaching, and we're like among the worst special teams performing across the. I'm sorry. This is the Titans section.
Our special teams has been bad until like recently, but anyways,
we need y'all's guy. Jeez.
So the second thing I liked, I actually kind of wanted to fire our special teams coach. I don't know if Mike Vrabel got in there because he was a special teams guy. I don't know if he got in there and lit a fire under that guy's booty hole, and he was like, "You listen here, I'm gonna fire you if you don't get these guys to do what they're supposed to. I know what they're supposed to do, and I know what practicing like a special teamer looks like, and you're not doing it. You know.
Are you telling me that Braves is?
I'm telling you, a head coach.
Like a head coach.
I'm telling you, he's acting like a head coach.
I hope we get one of those next year.
The second thing I liked, right? Oh, by the way, in the special teams thing, we're number 1 in blocks. By the way, just for anyone that wants to know, we're the best special teams field goal blocking special teams in the league. I don't know what I was trying to say right there, but it's awesome. All right, we're leading in something. The second thing I liked is the depth on the team, right?
Yeah.
So like, Adoree Jackson and Malcolm Butler both out. 2 of our top 3 corners. All right. So we got our other guys coming up, right? Sims is the never mind. Sims has been hurt. It was, I can't remember his name. He's the guy that returned the touchdown. So Crookshank, he's one of our backup safeties. He is the one that blocked it, and then the other guy is the guy that he was playing our second corner for the game, and he played a great game all day. And he's the one that took the touchdown back, and he also caused a fumble at the end of the game. I don't know why I can't remember this guy's name now, all of a sudden. But anyways, then you got Khalif Raymond, all right? Depth. This guy is number very bottom on the wide receiver depth chart. We brought this guy up off the practice squad like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He has caught a deep ball the past 2 weeks. He caught one for a touchdown last week. Beautiful play, all right? And then the offensive line depth, I think has been pretty good. In the first half, the offensive line was terrible. I'll get to that later. But it's also like we got a right guard that we drafted, and we got another right guard that came undrafted, and then we got Dennis Kelly to come in and replace the tackles when we need him to. Are you okay, Jackson?
I'm okay, but I just saw some stuff we should talk about after you're done with your Titan stuff.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just wallowing in depression and sadness.
No. Just I was just looking at something just popped up on the Twitter. We should talk about here in a little bit.
Okay. So the last thing I liked is big players showing up when they're needed. All right. We got Henry fourth and 1, like 12-yard touchdown that he gets off of it. We got Tannehill throwing the deep ball touchdown. It was the dagger. All right.
His balls have been looking pretty.
Making lately. Changes at the line all day. All right. We got Kevin Byard getting an interception before halftime that led to a field goal that made it 17-17. All right. We got Logan Ryan making an interception at the end. All right. Playing out of his mind. Dislikes for this stuff, right? So the number one thing I didn't like is turnovers. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Henry fumbled. Tannehill fumbled again. AJ Brown fumbled the ball. Luckily, they did some super weird rule thing where it was like it was a catch, and he caught the ball, he fumbled it, and then the ball went out of bounds, but the guy recovered it right there, but he was technically out of bounds, but they called it an incomplete pass, and so he caught the ball. They reviewed the fumble deal, and they did the review. And they ruled that he did indeed catch it because the ref came in, blew the play dead, called it an incomplete pass. But then the Colts recovered, but they recovered out of bounds. So he came in, ruled it incomplete. They go in there, look at the review, and they're like, oh, he caught the ball. Y'all should have got 9 yards. The Colts recovered the ball out of bounds. But apparently the rule, you can go read the rule in the NFL is that if there is not clear recovery, because it was recovered out of bounds, so there wasn't a clear recovery, you stick with the original call, even if the original call was incomplete and the ball was caught. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Dude,
there's some rules that need to be changed.
Yeah, it took like 15 or 20 mintes, ruined the drive, killed the drive. Yeah. We ended up punting. It made it third down. It made it third and long. So it was weird. Second thing I didn't like, zone defense again. All right, look, they didn't have T.Y. Hilton. They didn't have Marlon Mack. They didn't have Paris Campbell. All right.
Or Andrew Luck.
They didn't have Eric Ebron. And so, who were they going to throw the ball to? Their tight end. Because I didn't know the name of a single wide receiver they had. All they had was Jack Doyle. And do you know what happens on the very first drive for the Colts? Wide open, Jack Doyle, 30-yard touchdown pass.
Oh.
Mind explosion, bro. It's like, I don't know what they expected. Number 3, lack of production from the wide receivers, but like the starting wide receivers. Like Corey Davis caught one ball, bro.
Yeah.
AJ Brown fumbled the ball. He didn't really do a whole lot. He had some decent stuff, I mean, Adam Humphries got a touchdown, but I felt like when we needed the higher ups, they weren't there. But
yeah,
we got some Hollister guy that was catching balls. We got our second string tight end is catching balls, And then the last thing I didn't like, I did 4 this week.
I feel you on that one.
I thought the offensive line was way too bad in the first half. We allowed like 5 or 6 sacks.
Dude, and you're still winning the game, 31-17?
When the second half, we didn't allow any. And then it was 17-17 with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And they were trying to kick a field goal. We blocked it, took it back. And then we got an interception. And then Tannehill threw the big pass.
Okay, so it came together at the end.
Yeah, and then we made them fumble.
Yeah.
It's all in 5 minutes.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
But what were you, can you tag me on Twitter or something? Is this something I need to read? What's going on?
I can tag you. This is from Ian Rappaport, talking about Cam Newton. So Cam Newton, he posted on Instagram, and it was a thank you to Ron Rivera. Picture of Coach Rivera with his hat, and it says, "Thank you, Coach Rivera." He says, "We'll be forever grateful because of the impact you had on my life. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you for believing in me. I can go on, but most importantly, thank you for allowing me to be me. This one hurt deep." So that's coming from Cam Newton talking about Coach Rivera, and I'll tag you in this, Lucas, so you can see it. But what does that mean to you? What do you think?
I mean, he's just saying, grateful for him. You brought me into the league, put me under your wing and stuff, gave me a chance. You believed in me. You let me be me. You let me dress how I want to dress. Do how I want to do and stuff. Like whatever. You're just thanking him.
Yeah, but I guess I should rephrase that question. My question is, do you think this is going to have a bigger impact on his season next year, or his decision to want to come back next year and play for the Panthers? Like, he said this one hurts deep, right? Him not having Coach Rivera. Is he going to want to play for another coach in Carolina?
Yeah, I think he'll come back. I still think he comes back.
Okay.
Unless someone else just, if he goes to market and the Bears just outbid him or something, like that.
Right. Yeah, I'm just asking because he was benched for Kyle Allen. Yes, he was hurt, but could he have come back and play? I don't know.
Well, this coach also benched him. This is also the coach that benched him, though. So.
Yeah, but I don't know. Seems a little. I don't think he's going to be there next year.
So it's time for Take It or Leave It, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, this is my favorite segment.
For those that don't know, Take It or Leave It is a segment we do at the end of our. We got 5 segments we do every week. This is always the last one, and this is where I do 5. I pick 5 things or so, and I say it, and I tell Jackson take it or leave it. He gives his opinion on it. I give my opinion on it, and it's a good time usually.
Lucas does a really good job of coming up with the take it or leave it topics.
So, before this next one, to remind everyone, tonight is Tuesday when we are recording this. The college football playoff stuff has not come out yet, so the rankings later on are not 100% updated. And also, Monday Night Football was last night. So, take it or leave it. Did last night's game prove that Kirk Cousins is bad in primetime games?
Look, we've talked about this several times, and I know his track record in primetime games is less than stellar. But, I'm going to say leave it. I don't think he played awful I don't think he played to lose the Vikings that game. I think that it was an incredible game to watch. I felt like Seattle kind of rallied back. I don't think it was all Kirk Cousins' fault. Remember, they also had Dalvin Cook go down. By the way, cost me my fantasy team. Jesus. But no, I'm gonna say leave it. I don't think he's. No, I think he has a really bad track record with.
Yeah, so I'm also going to leave it. So they lost 30-37 against the Seattle Seahawks in my opinion, MVP Russell Wilson.
Yeah, totally
now
agree.
Kirk Cousins is 0-8 on Monday Night Football. 6 times with the Washington Redskins. You should throw all of those out of the window. His other 2 times, both times are against Seattle, in Seattle. All right?
That's a tough place to play.
And last night, Cousins was 22 of 38 for 276 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had an interception that he threw only because Diggs literally had the ball pulled from him. And he lost Dalvin Cook before the game was over. So, no, I'm leaving it. I do not think last night's game proves that he's bad. I think he played a good game. I think they had a very good chance of winning.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were leading for a while.
Yeah. So right. Next up, take it or leave it. You're gonna love this. I love it.
Oh, give it to me.
The NFC East is the worst division in football this year.
You got to take it. You have to take it. First of all, we have at the top of the division my hometown hero team, the Dallas Cowboys. At 6-6, we can't win a game versus a winning team. All right, and it pains me to say that and talk bad about my team, but facts are facts. We haven't beat a winning team yet this season. We're struggling. Okay, then we're going to go down to the Eagles. You lost against a punter who threw a touchdown to a kicker. That is all I need to say. That team was the Miami Dolphins. What else do you want from me? Then we're going to go down to the New York Giants. They're on an 8-loss streak. No one's talking about Danny Dimes anymore. All right, let's go down to the Washington Redskins. They are a joke of an organization and a franchise who desperately need to reorganize their entire front office, their coaching staff, and their roster. Need I say more?
Yeah, I'm also going to take it. That division is terrible.
It's pretty bad.
So the third one, take it or leave it. The Baltimore Ravens are officially the number 1 team in the NFL.
Take it right now. I feel like they're the most complete team in the NFL. I don't think they have the best defense or the best offense, but I think they have the best combination of the two. Their defense is ferocious at times. They can create turnovers. Lamar Jackson is a threat, especially a dual threat quarterback, running the ball and passing the ball. He's done it both times. They have speed on the outside. They have Mark Ingram, who is the best hype man I have ever seen in my entire life, and a coach who has been there, done that, and won championships. I think right now they're the team to beat. They're hot right now, and they're beating quality teams.
I'm going to leave it. Just because I don't think they will even make the AFC Championship. So
interesting.
Does
that involve the Titans? Does that involve the Titans going into Baltimore and beating them?
That is a potential scenario. Yes.
Indeed.
Yes, it is.
Just thought I'd ask.
Well, I will remind you that when the Titans were 14-2, and Chris Johnson and was just having a great year, and we were 14-2. I will remind you that the Ravens are the people that beat us in the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
Hurt CJ2K that year.
Ooh.
Sad.
He was sad.
Take it or leave it. The Cowboys have spent their contender window on a bad coach in Jason Garrett.
Take it. Actually, well, I'm going to half take it. I'm going to half leave because take it because, yes, this year's completely wasted. I really do. I think we're going to win the division by default. That is because we are the worst division in the entire league. That is because the Eagles choked a game against Miami Dolphins. Right? Somehow, some way, we're going to end up winning this division. That's going to put us into the playoffs. However, this team, this roster on paper that we have around us is a Super Bowl contending roster. And I really believe, and I know it's easy to say, well, if we had Bill Belichick, we had Sean Payton, whatever. If we had a top 10 coach, I really feel like we could make a deep run. I don't feel like we're utilizing our players in the correct way. And I feel like they could be, their ceiling is incredibly high. So, but I'm also going to partially kind of leave it because this is not the end of this window for a potential Super Bowl. We're going to lose some pieces, but we're going to be able to keep kind of the core group. And I think they can make a run if we get the right pieces involved. But for now, I'll say take it because we've wasted 4 years.
I'm also going to take it just because last year and this year seemed like prime time years for you guys. And then I have issues with the cap that y'all are running into.
Yeah, that's a huge problem.
Yeah, and I have a problem with Dak was offered $30 million and didn't take it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Last one, take it or leave it. Jimmy G is the only thing that is holding the 49ers back.
I want to say leave it because I don't think Jimmy G is, I don't think he's a bad quarterback, and I don't think he is hurting them. I don't think he is stellar or that he is elite yet. I feel like he will be later, but I don't feel like his play is the only thing kind of holding them back. Because sometimes that defense is amazing, right? It's ferocious on all sides. Everywhere you point on that field, they have talent and some of the best talent. Maybe their wide receiver core could use a little bit of help. I know their running game kind of running by committee. Sometimes their offensive line playing is a little bit shaky. I'm not going to put this all on Jimmy G. So I'll leave that.
I'm also gonna leave it, but you can't help but you can't ignore the fact that if they had just like Breeze. If y'all had a top 15 coach, if they had a top 15 quarterback,
yeah, if they had a Breeze, if they had a Russell Wilson,
those are generational types though. Like if y'all, I wouldn't necessarily say that Mike Vrabel is a top 15 quarterback or a top 15 coach. I wouldn't know exactly, but I think if the Cowboys even had Mike Vrabel, y'all would be better.
I think so too. I also think that even if like San Francisco, if they had Dak, they'd be better.
I'm prepared to say that Dak is better than Jimmy G. I don't like Jimmy G a whole lot. Anyways. Time to recap last week's game. All right. I have updated. We didn't get to know what our updated record was last week, so I've got an updated. Newsflash, we finished the same. So, over 2 weeks. Week 1, I was going through it and I was looking, and like after the first week that we didn't know and stuff last week, it was like, yeah, I did really good, and then like it looked like you slowly caught up to me, right? And so so Ohio State beat Michigan, Bama beat Auburn, nerds. The Titans beat the Colts, the Cowboys lost to the Bills, the Vikings lost to the Seahawks, the Ravens beat the 49ers, and the Texans beat the Patriots. Which we got wrong.
Yeah.
So our updated record, Mr. Jackson, I'm 51-40. You are 52-39.
I'll take it.
All right, so you're beating me by 1 game, and we're both positive. That's what matters. We're positive, right?
We are positive. Let's get it.
So I want to get on to our matchups for this week.
Yes, sir.
So we're doing an extra matchup because it is the conference championships.
It's a good weekend.
It is a great weekend. So the first matchup, I've got Utah versus Oregon.
Ooh.
Now these are all neutral sites, by the way, except the Georgia LSU game is in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. I kind of have questions about that. But, Georgia's kind of going to have a home field advantage, but LSU's going to win anyway. But, you know.
No, I'm feeling kind of...
So Utah, Oregon, go.
I'm feeling kind of upsettish. I'm feeling Oregon.
I'm also feeling Oregon. That's who I've got winning.
I'm gonna take Oregon on that one. Why not?
Why not? He says. All right. What about the Baylor versus Oklahoma game? So Oklahoma won earlier in the year, had a big comeback against them.
I'm gonna go with the Sooners on this one. I don't want to. Of course, I want Baylor to win, but I'm going with Oklahoma.
I'm also going with Oklahoma. I picked them to make the top 4. I believe Georgia will lose this weekend. Oklahoma will beat Baylor. Oregon will beat Utah. And just like I predicted, Oklahoma will be in the top 4 in the college football championships.
That would be insane. Absolutely insane.
The last one's the SEC game, Georgia versus LSU.
I'm going with Burrow, man. Got to go with LSU, even in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think you got to. He doesn't care. Okay, doesn't care. Doesn't matter. Going to get that dub.
It's all good.
So on to the NFL games. First up, Thursday night football. We got the Cowboys at the Bears.
No, we gotta win one of these games, right? I keep picking my boys. We gotta win one of these, right? Right. I'm picking my Cowboys. Mr. Trubisky, even though he just had his best game of his entire season against Detroit, I'm picking my boys. We gotta win one of these, right? Right.
I'm also picking the boys. I think Trubisky is garbage. I think he's real bad.
Yeah, he's terrible.
So Titans at the Raiders.
I'm going Titans.
I'm actually surprised.
I'm going with Tannehill. Okay. I'm going with AJ Brown. All right. And Corey Davis. I'm going with Braves. All right. I'm picking Lawan over Compton.
Part of me wanted to pick the Raiders. I can't even lie. They have been thrashed the past 2 weeks in a row. If they want to make the wild card, they have to beat us. And it's in Oakland, where we have to fly. We have to fly all the way across the world to get over.
You're playing it safe. What happened to?
What do you mean playing it safe? I picked the Titans. We're gonna make the playoffs.
But you're like, oh, I wanted to do that. But it's like the Titans are 5-1 since we have Tannehill, number 2 scoring offense.
That's right.
And you thought about picking the Raiders. How dare
we're gonna win. And we're gonna win the division, and we're gonna make the playoffs, and we're gonna beat Baltimore. And we're going to go to the AFC Championship where we're going to play the Patriots. And honestly, we'll probably win that too. So, the Titans are probably going to the Super Bowl this year. But that's besides the point. All right? And we're going to beat the Saints again, just like we're about to beat them in 3 weeks. Come at me, bro. All right? But as a Tennessee fan, I also know the history of the ups and downs of the Titans, and this might be different since we have Vrabel and we have Tannehill, but history will tell you that we tend to overlook the lesser people in front of us, and the lesser team is the Raiders. We have the Texans twice and the Saints coming up. We're not looking at the Raiders. We should be looking at the Raiders. Hopefully we are looking at the Raiders. Mike Vrabel is definitely a coach that, since he's from the Patriots and stuff, he wouldn't overlook someone. But I can see some of the players maybe overlooking them.
We're gonna go beat Oakland, and we're gonna go and beat Houston.
Yeah, well, Raiders have been a sneaky team this year. They've been little sneaky beaky snakes. All right.
That's true.
So next up, we have the 49ers at the Saints.
I'm going New Orleans. Going be breezy.
Oh.
I'm going New Orleans at the Superdome. Sean Payton, Michael Thomas. I'm going with Breeze.
I have picked the 49ers, and here's why.
Have you now? Okay, give it.
I think the 49ers are overrated, but I also think the Saints have some problems right now. I think they'll make the Super Bowl, but I don't like how they are right now. They've made the playoffs. They just don't feel good to me right now. The Saints don't feel good to me right now. And the 49ers just lost to the Ravens.
That is true.
Next up, we have the Ravens at the Bills.
I'm going Lamar Jackson all day.
Are you?
I'm going with the Ravens.
I thought you'd pick the Bills to kind of redeem the boys a little bit,
No. The Bills are going to get exposed.
Oh, well, I picked the Bills.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I picked the Bills just because of that defense, because of what happened to Lamar Jackson last week. I'm hoping finally Lamar Jackson gets exposed.
Teams begin to figure him out.
He had 100 yards passing, 100 yards rushing, and stuff like that.
It always happens, man. You can't keep up that performance all season long. You're going to have games where people are going to be able to capitalize on you. So it's a real test for Lamar, saying, okay, these other guys contain me a little bit. Can I figure out if you're really going to be dual threat, can I figure out that vertical part of the game to really make sure that teams really can't game plan for me.
Right. And so I think the Bills are bad. I think Josh Allen is a bad quarterback. And
he's good on 4th and 1.
I do not like the Bills. I think the Bills' record is way overrated because they play in a terrible division. They're guaranteed 4 wins just from their division. They play against another terrible division, a.k.a. the NFC East, I believe.
I can attest
where
to
they
that.
are guaranteed 4 more wins. 8 of their wins.
I can't say anything. They beat us.
Maybe not guaranteed 4 more wins, but they're guaranteed like at least 2 more wins out of that, right?
Oh, I'd say 3.
Okay, they're guaranteed 3 wins out of there. That's 7 of their 9 wins. One of their wins was against the Titans with Mariota. We missed 5 field goals, or 4. They're nothing. Okay? But I also think that their defense is good, and I think that they have a chance to shut down the Ravens' offense. And if they can make it an ugly game, that's their defense that's their favorite thing. And they'll run the ball with, they have Frank Gore, right? The Bills?
They do. And Singletary. And Singletary has been really, really good.
Yeah, there you go. They'll just run the ball with those guys, run the clock down. They'll win the game 9-3.
9-3. What a spread.
Well, it'll probably be more like 12-10. But anyways, last game is the Chiefs at the Patriots, potential AFC playoff matchup.
I feel like that is going to be an AFC playoff match. I feel like this is going to be in the divisional round where the Chiefs have to travel to Foxborough. I feel like Belichick's going to recognize that. I feel like he's going to throw some different stuff at Patrick Mahomes to kind of see what works and what doesn't. I feel like he's going to kind of probe that situation, not play this game to win, but play this game to get more information. Mahomes seems to be playing very, very well. But despite that, I feel like Tom Brady has another good game. I'm picking the Patriots, or has a good game and kind of a little bit of a resurgence in his stock in the NFL right now, which I can't even believe is being questioned. But I'm going to go New England in Foxborough.
I'm also going New England, and it's just because the Chiefs have not wowed me with anything this year.
Yeah.
They beat the stuffing out of the Raiders last week. Congratulations. You beat the Chargers by like 3, and you lost to the Titans because you can't kick a field goal. And I don't think Patrick Mahomes is 100% yet.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
So I gotta go Patriots.
All right. Those are our picks for this week, guys. We're neck and neck in terms of records. But we often pick the same for the most part.
Yeah, Jackson likes to copy my picks.
I literally went first every single time this week. And last week.
I wrote my stuff down beforehand, sir.
So we just think alike.
You're obviously spying on my notes.
Definitely. I got a little bug in there.
That's right.
All right, guys. Lucas, you have any closing comments, brother?
No, just thanks everyone that made it this far. We appreciate you. Mr. Casey, we look forward to another comment.
For sure, for sure.
You don't have a choice. You have to leave a comment. You're the only one that leaves comments.
So you got to keep up your reputation, man. You got to keep up your image. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode of the Go For Two podcast. You can find us and listen to us where all podcasts can be heard: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and others. You can also watch us on youtube.com/Go For Two podcast or tweet at us, twitter.com/Go For Two podcast. That is it from me and Lucas here in the booth. Thank you guys so much for watching/listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. We love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.